Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. The modern release I want to look at today is Chicory, A Colorful Tale, which is now available on all major platforms. I think it came to Xbox last year. That was the last console it made it to, originally releasing for like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Windows. This game is a phenomenal experience that I really wanted to talk about today. I had seen this game when it first launched. I saw some reviews for it. I saw that it was getting some really glowing reviews for being this colorful, vibrant, like painting art style type of game with a beautiful, deep story, and I was really intrigued. I thought it was a really cutesy, maybe like a platformer type thing, and I was just really intrigued by it. And I think it was on PlayStation Plus Extra. I ended up jumping on it, and I was really excited to start playing it. I played it with my daughter. She thought it looked really cool as well. And as we started going through the game, I started to realize that this game is much deeper than it just shows on the surface here. So I wanted to talk about what makes Chicory a really special experience. So this game, you play as a little dog character that you can name whatever you want. All the names of the characters, they live in like the, oh man, what's it called? The picnic kingdom, the picnic area. I don't remember. Everything revolves around food. And since you're like a dog, you have a food related name. I think the default name is pizza that you can have. But you can name your dog whatever food related thing you want here. And you go through and you meet tons of other people in this area, all with other food names. It's really cute and charming. And you are the janitor for this big tower where the wielder exists. The wielder is someone who wields a magic paintbrush and is responsible for coloring the world. The world is blank, it's just black and white, and the wielder's responsibility is to use his magic paintbrush to make color, give color to the world. And at the beginning of the game, the color is all of a sudden sucked from the world, everything disappears, and everything is black and white again. And so you go up to try and help Chicory, who is the wielder of the paintbrush, and you find that she's not there, but you find the paintbrush yourself. And so you end up being the wielder for a bit as you try and seek out Chicory and give her the brush back. And you start using it, you start utilizing some of its magical features. You get like little abilities that get passed on to the wielder of the brush. As you progress throughout the game, you'll get more of these abilities that let you traverse the entirety of the map. The map is quite large. There are different areas to explore with their own unique mechanics. And usually it revolves around you using the paintbrush and moving along. It's a kind of a mix of platforming and like really out of the box thinking. So you control the paintbrush with one of your analog sticks to paint certain aspects of the world. You have things like trees that will grow when you brush them with paint, or other things that will shrink when you put paint on them. And then they pop up if you take the paint off, or vice versa. So you have like some mushrooms that will collapse. When you step on them, they'll explode and they'll like spring you forward. It's really cool. Or you can like stop the trees from blooming, or bloom them to walk over them. It's really cool how they utilize the environmental puzzles here. I really enjoyed the out of the box thinking that you have to have in order to traverse this game. Sometimes it got a little tedious. Sometimes it got a little difficult. In fact, I remember one puzzle, I think it was in a swampy area. I just could not figure out for the life of me what the heck I was supposed to do. It didn't make sense to me. So there were a couple times the puzzles got a little bit obtuse and didn't really make sense and kind of impeded my enjoyment. I try to figure things out on my own before I ever look up a walkthrough, but if I get stuck for too long, I just need to look something up. So I had some frustrating experiences with the environmental puzzles occasionally, because this is kind of a free form idea where you're painting things. Sometimes you can paint the water and you can go through the water. Eventually we get this ability to do so, or you paint like vines. You can go through the vines, go through walls that are painted. So it's just really sometimes the solution isn't so simple, and it can be kind of frustrating or aggravating to go through and be like, oh, it was this tiny little thing I didn't notice on the page because I just didn't look closely enough or something. I didn't try every little thing. So outside of that, though, the environmental puzzles can be really fun. And the new upgrades that you get, it's very much like a Metroidvania. Suddenly you have new areas open that you couldn't access before. It's really beautiful. But what really stuck out to me is the storyline of Chicory. So you have this beautiful like painting mechanic and some platforming you have to do, but the story itself is a little bit more deeper and a lot darker, almost scary at sometimes. This is definitely like a kid game. You can play this and with your kids. You can play this as a kid and really have a great experience, but it gets a little intense and a little bit scary. It has some more grown-up themes that it goes through. Like Chicory herself, she is really feeling really inadequate as the wielder of the brush. When you finally find her, she tells you that she does not want the brush back and that she's making you the new wielder, which is kind of unprecedented. This hasn't really happened before. You meet her mentor at one point. You learn more about how Chicory was as the wielder. You get to learn about their tense relationship with each other, and you start to piece things together that the world is kind of being impacted by the brush itself. You are fighting, like when you get to these certain areas, you are fighting these corrupted trees that you find. Once you go inside, you have these tense boss fights that can be rather scary, honestly. My daughter was pretty scared watching some of these fights. We had to kind of get used to what they were before they became less scary. You're fighting this darkness that is spreading throughout the land and taking over, and you find out that it's linked to the brush itself. And so it's this really intricate storyline. It's really beautiful. The way that you paint the world, you can paint everything in this world. And in fact, I think there's achievements linked to it. I didn't go for full completion because the achievement list was pretty substantial. But it was a really fun idea that you can just paint everything. You have a different color palette that you can go through, that you can pick from. And as you paint things, it gives the world vibrancy. You can make your own designs for certain things, like logos for people, for their shops. You can like design stuff on like Chicory's shirt. You have customization. It's a really beautiful, fun time. And I think the deep storytelling that it does tell adds a lot of depth to this game that seems fairly childlike and just kind of mesmerizing from the standpoint that you can make this world whatever you feel like. I love how deep this story gets. It is a bit frustrating at times. It can be not the most user-friendly experience. Sometimes thinking out of the box can be a little more taxing than you would expect it to, but it is an overall very enjoyable experience. A game that I really had a fun time with. And getting to the end, the storyline that you go through is really beautiful. I won't spoil the storyline and how it goes or anything like that, but it's fantastic. It's a great time. The side characters that you meet, the quests you go on, the kingdoms you go to are all beautiful and packaged together in a really fantastic way. I'm going to give Chicory A Colorful Tale a gold ranking. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.